Oh yeah, this one doesn't count down. Never mind. All right, I guess it just goes on. I use another platform, Riverside. They count down. This one doesn't, so it's already live. Well, for us, at least. All right. So, hi, my name is Jennifer. I am the creator and host of the Uncut podcast. And I have a really good friend here with me today. She's going to introduce herself.
Well, what happened right here?
It's okay.
The resting.
We can edit it. Don't worry.
Okay, you just got a boo boo, sweetie.
It
Mommy's on a
bleeds so
call.
much.
It's okay. I'll put a band-aid on it. Go ahead.
Okay, it's okay. I already paused it. No, see, it's all uncut and raw, right? We're real moms.
I know, I know.
All right. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Gilanni. I am a realtor out here in Houston, Texas, and I'm a mom of two and business owner.
I am so happy that you decided to interview with me today. I know it's hard between our schedules, also trying to work that out. And just a little bit of background, I met her through one of my cousins years ago. My cousin was like, "You have to meet this girl. She's so creative. She loves fashion." And we like totally hit it off years ago. And now I
Yeah.
feel like you kind of caught up with me because I was older than you guys. So I feel like now you're like mature and settled. So we're kind of like in the same place in life, which is really cool. So I wanted to ask, how did you go from being in Florida to I think you went to another state and then now you're in Texas? So how did that happen?
I have a gypsy soul. I have an issue with staying in one place and sometimes staying with one thing. It's like commitment issues. No, but really, I like to, live different places. And so I'm originally from Northern Virginia. And then I moved to Puerto Rico, and then I moved to Florida. And then after Florida, I actually moved to LA. Um, I personally did not like it at all, by the way. I don't know what the hype
Oh,
is about. That was just my take on it.
yeah.
Not for me. And then from LA, I moved back to Virginia, but I was living in DC. And then from DC, Houston. So
Wow.
it's been a ride for sure.
Definitely. So I know you do
Mhm.
have two boys. How old is your
Yes.
oldest son?
So my oldest is 5 now, and my youngest is 1, about to be 1.5.
Oh.
And yeah, they're still young. Like this is like before school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. I'm sure you remember. I mean, I remember seeing you with the kids when they were young and just being like, "Oh my God, I don't know how you do it." Like you're such a
Yeah.
great mom, by the way.
Thank you. I try.
Because you really had to do it like on your own. Like you were really handling shit.
I know. You're probably like, now you can relate more to like why she was probably drinking wine at the end of the night.
No, no,
Cause
trust me,
yeah.
I get it. I get it. My mom was a single mom. So I grew up with a single mom. I definitely understood it. I helped her raise my younger sister because she was working all day. So, a lot of times I would wake up and get my sister ready for school and make her breakfast and take her to the bus and pick her up from the bus and get her fed and take her a shower. And I mean, it was literally sometimes until my mom wouldn't get home until like 9 p.m. Like, her salon would close at 8. And so by the time, you close the cash registers and everything, I mean, sometimes my sister would be sleeping and
I'd
she
be
would just
right.
come
Yeah.
and take her from my bed. So I
Mm,
definitely, obviously, as a mom, it's a totally different perspective and experience, but I know how hard it was even then before having kids. I knew what you were doing was
oh
like,
my gosh. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I can't imagine having like multiple. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I had them spread out, so that helps having the 4 year
This
difference.
is
But
true.
yeah. So when you were growing up, I know you said your mom was a single mom and she worked a lot. Do you think that that really helped you become the mom that you are and being able to understand
Oh,
and know
yeah,
like you can do it all and you can balance it? It is going to be hard. But what are some
for
things like with
sure.
your childhood that you feel like your mom might have taught you that you use right now as an adult?
My mom and my grandmother, I come from a family of very independent women. Um, and sometimes I think also I will make a remark as to like a slight toxic independency, where sometimes I know they didn't have to do it alone, but they wanted that, like, I'm gonna do it. I know how to do it. I can do it by myself type of
Yeah.
thing. And so I think that there's definitely like a balance between being independent and knowing that there's certain things that you can do and that, that they're good for you to learn how to do and to have the grit to do them on your own.
Mhm.
But even in the midst of all that, I definitely realized that there were some things that were, I think, a little bit too much. And my mom and my grandma were pretty much both growing up single moms, and so, and like my aunt as well. And so you start to realize that it was kind of like a pattern in my family. And I think it's because the women in my family are very, very, very strong
Yeah.
minded, hard headed. But it did teach me to have that grit, that, like, that ruthlessness when it comes to life. Like, no matter how hard it gets, I could thrive in survival mode. That wouldn't be an issue for me.
Mhm.
But I think where I did also, you learn the good and the bad when you look at them, right? And so what I
Mhm.
didn't want to take with me was that need to be in survival mode and that need to push people
Yes.
away
Amen.
and not work with them, and, like, and realizing that life is not linear. Like, relationships are complex, like just relationships with other people in general, your
Mhm.
friends, your spouse, or whoever you decide to have around you. And so I think the good things, were that was learning how to get it no matter what. They were hustlers. My grandma has a very inspiring story, actually. She came from Ecuador with three young kids and, like, pretty much no money to her name. And, she moved out here and started working at Burger King at, like, cleaning bathrooms, to
Mm.
realizing her dream of, like, owning a beauty salon and spa. Like, she
Wow.
really did the whole American dream. And I look at that, I'm just like, she's always like my idol, my inspiration. I'm like, if she could do it with no money, no
Right.
help,
And
three kids in
kids.
a foreign
Yeah.
country, not speaking the language. Do you ever look at people and you're just like, why are you complaining? Like,
Yeah.
you speak English. Do you know how blessed you are just to be in a country where you speak the first language?
Right.
Like, it's just crazy. And sometimes, like, or I look at people with kids and they just be like, man, life is so hard and I'm so broken. I'm like, how are you broke? You don't, like, you don't even have kids yet.
I
Like,
know, when my friends are like, "I'm broke," and I'm like, "You don't even have kids, could you imagine?" Like
no, but I know everyone has their own hardships. I
yeah,
definitely respect that. I say that jokingly. Everyone has their own problems, but sometimes I'm just like, just wait.
right. So, I do remember that you used to sell cars.
Yes.
Do you feel like that really
Yeah.
helps you with the current career that you're in now?
Yeah. So, okay. So I don't know if you remember, in Florida, I was actually a stylist. So I worked for,
Mhm,
like, kind of like mid to high end luxury brands.
mhm.
And so I also got paid by commission. So I have been in sales my whole
Mm,
life. And at 13, I remember, in order to make my own money, my mom was like, well, you need to figure something out. Ask your grandma if you can, like, sweep or something and, like, make some money. They were very like, you need to get it, you need to get your own.
right.
And I started jailbreaking iPhones at like 11 to make
Oh,
money.
wow.
And,
That's
like,
amazing.
I always loved, like, computers. That's like my nerdy side.
I love
But
that.
yeah, that was for fun. And definitely always been in sales. So I sold um phones, jailbroken phones, then I sold, like, clothes, and then I went on to sell cars, and now I'm selling houses.
I love
So
it.
a
So,
bit of
with
a
you being in the, housing market, how much has that affected you now? Because I know, when the I don't wanna say the word, but the virus and all that stuff happened a couple of years ago.
hmm.
Is that when you got into it? Because I feel like that's when there was, like, this huge everyone was doing businesses, but now it's really hard to hang on to it.
So funny enough, I started studying September 2019. And this was before anything hit.
Mhm.
I was done by December 2019. I was supposed to like find a brokerage and like do all that by January 2020. But by then, I didn't know it, but I had gotten sick in December. Okay, but I didn't
Mm,
know that's like what it was. But either way, I was like kind of like over it. And
mhm,
then that's when the news started coming out of like, I don't want to say panic, but out of like survival and not knowing everything that's going on. It was me and like my now 5 year old. I was like, I can't go into, as much as I believe in myself, I cannot go into like a fully commission based job into in real estate. People that have actually been through it or know the process, it's hard,
mhm.
super rigorous at the
I know.
beginning. So I was like, I can't do this with this world's uncertainty and like with my kid. Like I was ready until that happened and it kind of threw me off. So I ended up going into multifamily the first year and I like solely focused on leasing in DC. And I loved it. I actually loved it. I was really good at it.
Mm.
And I was able to live in the building where we worked. And the building was like all gated. It was a luxury apartment. So I feel like it was a good entryway. But let me tell you, if I had actually just bitten the bullet and gone, girl, I would have made probably millions. So I
Right.
ended up starting like in residential once it was like almost like, I guess midway, you can say,
Yeah.
midway through the whole crisis or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and actually like residential, I was in like the retail aspect of it. And now coming to Houston, because I started in Northern Virginia, in Houston, you know, I've tapped into like real estate investing, and it's been a total game changer. Like, it's been amazing because we work, and I say we like kind of like my little team that I have, like a VA and, um, my boyfriend, he's super supportive, and we kind of just tackle on these little like wholesale deals and just started working the off market stuff, and it's been great.
I love that. And how did you and your boyfriend meet? I was going to ask you
Uh,
that. What is the story?
so I'm surprised we didn't meet sooner because it was through a mutual friend, but we met and started throwing looks at each other playing poker in someone's basement.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, we kind of like met playing poker. And then I remember, you know how it is as a single mom, where like sometimes you just need a man to like help you with like house stuff. You're just like, God, if I
Yeah.
had a man right now that could like help me
Yeah.
carry in this goddamn Christmas tree, like,
Yeah.
so you just gotta start trying to find somebody to help you.
Oh my God,
Okay,
yeah.
so I had called my friend who was like a mutual friend, and he was just like, oh, well, Johnny has a truck and he's a big, strong man.
Intent.
he he can help you carry your tree in. So I hit him up and I remember I was like, hey, listen, like I'm so sorry to ask you this, like, like off the random, but is there any way you can come to my house and like help me go buy a tree and bring it to my house? And he was just like, and I didn't even mean like that day, but he was just like, yeah, I can be there by 8 tonight. And I was just like,
I love that. Right on it, right?
okay, okay. And that was like our little Christmas story. Honestly, we fell in love around Christmas time, a little corny Hallmark movie.
No, I love it. I think that's adorable. All right, so I
It was
was going
pretty
to
cute.
ask, what has inspired you to share your story today, and what message do you want, or hope that people will take away from your message?
Well, that's a good one. Um, Obviously, a lot of it I know was about me and my story, but I will say that my mission um, is to definitely help others. Like, that's kind of where I am trying to like move all of my efforts towards.
Mhm.
And if I can, leave someone with anything on their mind or like anything about me, it's just that if you like for me, I'm always here to help. And I feel like more people need to learn to serve others more. And I really think that that is like part of our life's purpose. And I think we miss that a lot in the day to day. You know, there's so much going on, there's so much, consumerism, flashing lights. Like, I just want to kind of like remind people that I really feel like I got to where I got to, and I was blessed with a very, very supportive partner because I was constantly supporting everyone else the whole way up,
Yeah.
constantly giving, and I really think that that's the secret to life is, appreciation and giving more, even when you feel like you're giving and that person is not reciprocating or people aren't reciprocating. I'm always like, Gilanni, just keep giving, just give more, just show up for people, and it'll all come back to you. And I feel like it's so hard to keep doing it when you feel like it's not being reciprocated.
Yeah.
um but I really do think that like it doesn't always come back in that person, but it will come back around in other ways, in other shapes, in other forms, in other people. And
Like
that's
good
like the
karma.
biggest thing.
It's
Yeah,
like yeah, it's like good karma and the energy that you put out, and I don't know, like I'm firmly into like manifestation and stuff like that, and the law of
yeah,
attraction. I've been getting into that more recently. So I definitely believe that because there's a lot of people that have come in my life and I'm like, you could wish some evil things on them because they're just horrible people. But they are literally living their, karma and payback by themselves without me even having to wish it. So I'm like, I truly believe in that. So
yeah.
where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you were talking about hopefully doing maybe even a podcast yourself, or a charity or something.
Yeah. So funny enough, the podcast part, I do like talking, but I don't know if I have the the whole the whole passion to do the whole thing that it actually takes because it's hard work.
It is.
um, so yeah, like I have to really think about that. But I do know that I want to start a nonprofit.
Yes.
And
I love
yeah,
that.
there's like two things that I want to do. And one of them I'm about to start very, very small in my own backyard, which is
Mm.
just hydroponic farming and just
Oh,
like farming
wow.
in general in a small greenhouse. And my goal is just going to be to harvest enough to take fresh, like vegetables and fruit to a school that my son attends,
That's amazing.
and just slowly start like trying to help get those fresher foods to kids' schools because
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but the lunches we grew up eating were just very questionable.
Oh my god, if you see them,
And
we thought they were good, right? We're like, "Oh my god, this little
I know
square pizza, that was good." I'm like, "Ugh." My
the
kids don't
little
eat that. They're so bougie.
smiley faces. You remember the little smiley face potatoes?
Yeah.
The
Oh
French
my
fries with the
god.
sun.
Yeah.
They're terrible for you.
I
And
know.
so for me, like I just definitely I know that the world is slowly moving into a healthier path. But I also know that everything is getting so expensive
That
that
too.
buying fresh fruit and vegetables, it can be so expensive when they literally go bad in like 3 days.
Yeah.
And so
I
I,
would That's a great
yeah,
idea. You
that's my first thing. And then the second thing is helping moms
Yeah.
like us,
Maybe like
take
a
charge of a
support group
business.
or something. That's amazing. I would love to
Yeah,
check back in with you in even like a couple of months or weeks and see where you're at and see where I'm at. And hopefully, both of us are in bigger, better places. Sky's the limit, right?
yeah. I mean, I definitely this real estate business, it's kicking off here. And we're helping
Texas is
people.
That's huge.
It's
Texas is
good.
huge though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Texas, like we just do I guess what I like to call like the retail side of real estate here. But the reality is that like for real estate investing, girl, we're nationwide. Like we're doing deals in like Oklahoma and Florida. We're helping people buy
That's
with,
amazing.
without income check, credit checks. Like there's just so many ways to acquire real estate that people don't know about that it's crazy. It's
So if
really mind
you
blowing.
if there was someone else that wanted to start or get into maybe the industry that you're in, what would it be advice that you would give them to start?
Definitely to figure out look into what type of real estate do you want to sell? Where do you want to
Mhm.
start? Residential is definitely, I would say, the easiest, or leasing, like, property management. Um, but that's so important because every single sector can be so different. Like, and some people, they're like, I love the idea of real estate, but I don't want to get my license and pay all the fees and keep up with all that. Honestly, sometimes I think like if I had known then what I know now, I would have just gone straight into real estate investing
Mhm.
because you don't need any of that. You don't need a license. You don't even need money. Like the reality is you can just connect people or use other people's money. I have like lenders, like private money lenders that if you were like, "Hey, I have this deal and I want to like start an Airbnb and all the numbers make sense." I have someone that can fund it for you.
See?
Like
Well, we need
it's
we need to talk.
incredible.
I want to do a pink one. I want to do a pink Airbnb.
Yes. Have you seen the Barbie ones? Like the pink ones and the Barbie ones.
Heck
They're
yeah.
so cute.
That's totally
They're,
me.
I
Yeah,
want
I
furry
definitely want that.
walls. Can you just give me a furry wall on your Airbnb? Like,
Oh my gosh. Did you see the girl? I don't know if I sent it to you. Her name is what is her name? I'm actually going to be doing her interview. Hold on. She's going through a lot, so we're trying to figure out when she has available. I have it written down.
yeah, I'll set
She
you up
is
an
in
Airbnb.
Oh, girl, she's in Texas too. I forgot. Her name's Charlie.
Really?
Her name
What
is
part?
Charlie. I'll find out. I'll get you the deets, but she is in
That's
Texas
awesome.
also, and you can go to she has a studio. It's called something penthouse. So it's like a
Okay.
studio on top of like an office kind of building that I don't know if she leases it or something, but the whole room is all fluffy white or fluffy pink fur. It's gorgeous. Wait until you see it. I'll send you photos. So she rents it out for parties, for photo shoots and stuff like that. And she's really successful in what she does. She has amazing photographs and she does a lot of like big party, like tattoo parties, a lot of really cool events. So I'll definitely get you her
Ooh.
connections. And when she's not so busy, because she has a lot of stuff going on, I'm going to be doing her interview as well and talk about like, how she came up with that idea and stuff. So she was on what was she on? I think she was on the Drew Barrymore show. So it was pretty
Oh
cool.
wow. I love that
Yeah,
show.
so
Drew Barrymore's awesome.
I'll definitely find out for you and let you know. So,
Yeah.
did you want to leave any plugs or anything about your business as far as where can we find you? And hopefully we'll see your face some more because I know you do post not as often as you should because your
I
videos are really
know.
good. Your videos are good. I know it's about balance and stuff. So that was another reason why I like to do or I created the podcast is because I wanted to interview people that don't necessarily really give the story about who they are. We just see what we see on social media and what they want us to see. And that's it. So I was
Mhm.
like, I really want to get girls who don't really do a lot of videos or don't do a lot of content, or they create a lot of content, but that's not the actuality of who they really are. So I'm like, I really want to know who they really are. So
You're
hopefully we'll
so
see some
right.
more. Yeah, hopefully we'll see
And
some
that's such a
more.
good point. I'll have to work on that because I know I need to actually put myself out there, but it's always hard when you feel like social media is like not your thing. So for some of us, like you're like that, this is your thing, you're in your element. But for me, I'm like,
It's a
should I post
character.
this?
No, I totally put on. I'm the same way. My kids come in, I'm like, get out of here. I'm yelling at them, and my son is under the table sometimes, and I'm like pushing him down. Like, so it's definitely a character. As soon as the lights come on, the
That's so
camera comes
funny.
on, I'm like, okay, God, let's go. So, but
That's funny.
I just wanted to get people's story because I don't want to necessarily just do famous people and content creators. I wanted to know like because I knew you personally years ago when you were here in Florida, and if someone would have told you like, hey, you're gonna go from Florida to this state, and then finally end up in Texas with another, two kids and a great man and an amazing career, you'd probably be like, yeah, right. I don't think
No,
so.
yeah, absolutely not. I definitely, I don't know if you remember me. I used to be a heartbreaker, a man eater, did not believe in love, did not believe in marriage, and here I am. But I will say this for ladies that are just, trying to maybe find that person, make sure they are that man to the T. Princess treatment in full. Okay, like my man, he gets up, he makes me my coffee. If needed, he'll make me my breakfast if he has time for me, for the kids. Like he comes home, he'll pay the bills. He also helps clean. He helps take care of the
Love it.
kids. Like, I think that nowadays it's hard. It's hard to find a good man. And
Mhm.
if it was up to me, I was ready to be single for the rest of my life if I didn't find him. So, definitely would not have believed you.
So where can everybody follow you? Because hopefully this will encourage you to post some more. So give us your
Yes,
plugs.
yes. I am at Gilanni.sarai. So Gilanni with the G, Gilannie dot Sarai. I know, such a difficult name.
Yes, it is.
Should I change that? Should I make it easier? You need to give me some tips because,
I think it's pretty. I think your name's original and it's different. It definitely could be like a famous person's name where like it just flows. So I think you
I
should
hear
stay
that
with
all the
it.
time. I hear
Yeah,
that all the
just
time.
I would stay
It's
with
a
it.
brand in itself, right? It's just
Right.
that's
Just stay with it. Just keep saying it more, put yourself out there more, and then you won't even have to tell people how to say it. They'll know it. You see? There you go.
that's a good
I'm
one.
gonna be
That's a
on
good
your
one because
back. You better be
okay,
posting,
that sounds
girl.
good. Okay, I got
Well,
you. I got
thank you
you.
so much for interviewing with me, and this is
Thanks
just
for
part 1
having
because
me.
you're welcome. I will definitely get back with you, and we'll interview again in the future and see where you're
Yes.
at and see where I'm at.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here. I want to help and I want to help women that want to start their businesses and even start in real estate. So we'll definitely have to check back.
Also, when you start, doing the garden and all that, I would love to have updates on how that's going.
Yes. I will take
Yeah.
videos. I will take videos of the
And
process. I
post
told
it.
myself I have to do that.
Hold yourself accountable.
I will.
All right. Thank
All
you
right,
so
girl.
much. You
Thank
have a
you
good
so much.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we'll just
So,
be more chilled.
yeah, like the imposter syndrome is honestly the reason why I don't post on social media a lot. And it took me a lot to even get to the point of where I am now. Real estate, if you look at any real estate Instagram or professional, everybody has like that same just professional Abby, the same like showing houses, the professional photos with the blazers. Like they it's a very like cookie cutter type of thing. And so sometimes I look at like my actual personality, which is Latina woman with the big nails, with the thick body. I like to wear cute stuff that's very form fitting and like you
Yeah.
don't fit in. You don't fit in. And so, and not only that, but like the real me, I'm very outspoken. I'm very blunt. Like, and I have very strong opinions and I'm not afraid to voice them. And I could get online and put that on there. And next thing you know, I offended a client.
Mm,
People love to get offended nowadays. So that imposter syndrome is so real where like I feel like I can only show a snippet of my
yeah.
real life, a snippet of the person that I am. And it's like a professional and a mom. That's it.
Yeah.
What Jelani actually enjoys doing, going out, dancing, feeling good, feeling sexy, brunch with her girls, drinking, like perhaps that other uncut stuff.
Yeah.
People, they're going to see that and be like, oh, she's not professional anymore.
That's gotta be a balance, especially with you being younger
Yeah.
and being in that industry. Do you feel like a lot of people judge you or maybe don't take you as
Oh, for sure.
serious or professional, I
For
guess?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
told
that's
I
what I
wasn't
was gonna
professional
say.
because I had fake lashes, like, or to cut my nails down, or the colors that I'm wearing are not like corporate enough.
So,
Um,
how are you able to, like, fight that back or balance that to where you are like, "Okay, no, I'm drawing the line. Like, this is my body. This is what I like to wear." Like, how do you balance those 2 things?
so at the beginning, I really tried to fit that box, because I was working for like a very like prestigious, like, traditional brokerage. and I tried being on a team, and so I was trying to fit in. And then I started to realize that the only way to kind of like get out of that feeling is just to get out of that situation. So I left that team. Eventually, I left that brokerage. And, my brokerage now, they support everyone's individuality. Like,
Mhm.
they really don't care what you look like, what you're using. You could be the girl with the shoes, the girl with the nails. They don't care as long as
I love
you are
that.
like, you have your own business and your own brand. So I think walking out of rooms that I was not appreciated and celebrated
Yeah,
was the biggest step for me coming into my power,
because you
for
probably
sure.
feel like you can really lose yourself trying to morph yourself for, to fit their ideal image.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think a lot of people don't know what internal work it took. There's so many nights like when I cried, like just feeling like icky about the way I was trying to fit in online or the person that I was trying to be when I showed up at the office because I'm just like, this isn't me, but okay, if I show the real me, I don't want to be seen as such. And
Yeah,
it was hard. It was very
it's
mentally hard. Yeah, it did
it's
not feel
about
good.
balance. It's about balance. And I
Yeah.
think once you can get over that with your social media, that's when you're going to find the following that wants to follow you, and you're going to want them to follow you also. So that's when you'll be more confident in posting. So the people that don't want to follow you, that's fine. You're going to find your own group of people, and you just have to keep going with that. You find your niche and you stick with it and just be true to who you are and what you're posting. And you'll find a lot of other women that are like, wow, like it's not all glitz and glam, and it is hard because sometimes, my her house is a mess. Sometimes like
Yes.
she's running late picking up the kids or whatever it is. And I feel like if we can take social media platforms and become more relatable and show how, like how real life actually is and not what we want people to see, I think people will be more willing to not only share their stories but post. People are really
Yeah.
scared and insecure because I know myself, I'm the same. I talk to a lot of my friends and they're like, I just don't know what to post and I don't know what to look like, blah blah. And I'm like, post, it's just like when they tell you you start working out, right? They're like, a start is a start. Just start
Yeah,
somewhere. And I think we just overthink it because of what
for
we see
sure.
all the time. We see like, oh, this
Yeah.
big beautiful house, um and it's actually like the corner of someone's garage with a really nice couch and a painting in the background. Like, you don't know where these people really are. It's just what they want you to
So
see.
true.
It is. It's an illusion. It's what
Yeah.
they want you to see. And I just wanted to
100%.
do this cuz I'm like, sometimes I feel exhausted. Like I tell my son's father, I'm like, "Do you know how exhausting it is to do lives?" It's exhausting. And he's like, "Oh, but like he just makes it sound like it's just a lot of fun." And I'm like, "No, because I think when I'm actually an introvert. I'm very shy naturally. Like, unless you know me, I'll talk to you, right? But like if I'm in a group
Yeah.
of people or whatever, I have social anxiety. I don't like to go out. I actually am in my house probably 90% of the time. I'm not an extrovert at all. I do like to have fun. But
I
I'm
noticed
like,
that from the beginning about you. I was like, she is an introvert. She's not just out here like, hey, hi, what's
yeah.
up?
That's not me. Like, when you guys see me and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Hi, guys. Welcome." I'm like, that it's exhausting because it's almost like someone who's extremely depressed trying to pretend to be happy, and I'm not saying I'm depressed, but it's exhausting because you're putting on a character. But I'm
Hmm.
like, lights, camera, action. I need to make money, so I'm gonna put on the character. I'll do whatever it takes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to interview women and hopefully encourage them to be more true to themselves on social media and spread their word of what they went through and where they're at, because I think there's a lot of women that could relate to you, because I know, like you said, you were kind of like a gypsy lifestyle where you're all over the place. I know now you're more stable and established, and I think that your story would be amazing for other young, moms, especially single moms, and saying,
For
like,
sure.
it is hard. No one said it was
Yeah, it
going to be
is.
easy, but you
And
can
it's
do
not
it.
always, yeah, and it's not always, oh my God, I love my life now. Like I know my life is good now and I'm very blessed. Like I have a supportive partner, I have great kids, I have a very, like some would say, like a good lifestyle. I own a home, I have a career, like, kind of like that whole foundational thing. But the reality is, like, took so hard to get here. And sometimes as moms, we still mourn our old selves, ourselves
Mm,
before the kids, ourselves before
yeah,
the career, before the house, like because
the
sometimes,
responsibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, I feel like sometimes, we don't talk about that where it's like, sometimes I miss the Gilanni that was just out here traveling and she didn't care about like her house like being clean. Like I like barely had furniture. Like I was a bachelor living, even though I was a girl, like it was definitely like a bachelor pad and but it was so simple, like I just was there to sleep pretty much and just living that like out
Carefree.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like, nope, my house has to be clean. I have my kids. I need to do this. I need to do that. And sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, that girl was sometimes, sometimes that girl was so much happier just because of the freedom. I didn't have anything. I didn't own a home, didn't have kids. I didn't have a supportive partner like I do now. But I do mourn that freedom and that like youth, that naive mindset of like,
Mhm.
I could
No
become a
responsibility.
billionaire tomorrow and like I'm gonna be famous or whatever. Like everything, the sky was the limit. Not to say that it's not, but it was just like it was definitely just totally different. Like where now I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, the sky's the limit, but here's the work I have to put in to actually get there. I didn't know
Yeah.
that then,
Yeah.
right? So it's just crazy, but I think that a lot of people don't think when they look at us on social media when they don't know the full story, they don't think that sometimes we have moments where like we mourn that as well, or like we have those moments where we're not, even though in like our good life that it looks like online, life could be complete shit
Yeah.
at that
It's
time.
not it's
Like
not picture perfect. It's what you want them to
yeah,
see.
100%, 100%. I could literally be struggling with money, which is happening before, but out here it looks like I'm selling houses or it looks like I'm living good. But it's
Because
like, especially in this economy,
yeah, it's hard
girl,
right now. Yeah, it's hard for
a lot of
everybody.
people are pretending. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are pretending. Like, I have a friend who doesn't even have a job and she's out here, I don't even know how, but traveling and posting pictures as if she's living a lavish lifestyle. And sometimes I'm just like, how do you guys do this? The illusion, like, I'm just like, this is
The
crazy because I just
energy.
talked to you. Yeah,
Like, put that energy into getting a job. Have you
literally.
seen those posts where the girls are, like, sitting in front of the washer machine and it looks like a jet, like a window, like a jet window, and then they have,
No,
like, a
stop.
wine, and they're, like, off to the next place, and then they'll show it out, like, far away, and they're in front of, like, the washer
Girl,
machine window. It's hilarious, but it's so true,
people
but
do the
that's
most.
exactly why I wanted to do this, so we can get to know the true story and what everyone actually is going through and feeling and their struggle. Like I said, I feel like it's more
Hmm.
relatable. I feel like once you get more confident into sharing your story, I know that there was I think my second interview that I had did she is a recovering addict. She actually used to do like really hardcore drugs and was an alcoholic, and if you see her now, she's absolutely gorgeous. She's a content creator and
Thriving.
she does makeup. She has her own studio. So she talks about her story.
Oh wow.
And I asked her, I said, what would you have changed if you had no following at all and you had to start all the way over again? What would you change? And she's like, I would have been more real to my story and not cared about what people thought about me instead of me putting on makeup and doing transitions and people seeing me as being this glitzy glamour person. I would have shared more of my recovery so that people know that it's okay. Like I'm not perfect and this is where I was and this is where I am now. So that's a big reason why I went to this stories because you can look at people and never guess what their stories are. Like I know personally, I always had jobs where I always had my makeup done, always had my hair done on point. But I went to work and I did not want to go home. Like, I hated going home. I would drive around the neighborhood and I would avoid going home, but I knew that if I wasn't home by a certain time, then I was going to be harassed and cussed at and whatever by my ex. So I was like, my outlet was being at work, but I knew that if I went to work without makeup and didn't have nice clothes on, people would be like, oh shit, what's wrong with her? What is she going through? Like, you guys don't realize
Hmm.
my power got disconnected because my ex decided to disconnect it when it was 40 degrees outside and I had to stay at a hotel last night. So yeah, like that was shit that I went through back in the day with 3 little kids. My daughter, the youngest at the time, was 6 months old. He disconnected the light and I had to stay at a hotel room and I had no money and I had to call out of work and they don't fucking care. Like corporate, they don't care. They're like, "Well, when are you
No,
coming
they
back
don't.
in?" So
Literally.
that was horrible. So, and I washed myself up. I went to work like nothing. I put on makeup and no one knew anything I was going through because it's what I want them to see and what I want them to know.
And
And
moms
I
do
used to
that
always say
all the
that.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I was
so
like,
crazy. Like, just keep going.
cover the stress with my makeup,
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I know that sometimes, like, that's all it takes for us to just change our little persona. Like, if you see me out, like, going to drop my kid off at school, I look a little hobo-ish,
I look
like,
busted,
maybe she's a
girl.
little homeless. I'm not
You're
sure,
being
like, if she's good,
you're being so
you know?
nice. I look so busted.
Yeah, literally, exactly. And so,
Crocs
but then you
every
see
day.
me, slides and slides for me.
Damn big
But
ass
then you see me
bun.
at work. Yep, the bun,
Always got this
with all
big ass bun. Yes, a
the
big
baby
ass
hairs
bun.
everywhere.
I have bags under my eyes like no tomorrow. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
So
But you
it's
see me
so
go to a
funny.
showing, it's full on,
Game time.
The
Game time.
stilettos, it's exactly, and it's crazy because you don't get to see both sides of me always. Sometimes I feel like when I go to my son's school and I drop him off in work attire because I have a showing, they're shocked. They're floored. They're just
Right.
like, "Oh my God, you look so pretty. You look so nice." And I'm like, shocking, right? Like I clean up
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. When
It's
when
so
I like got
funny.
ready for this and I walked past like my kid's therapist that's here and they're like because I usually have like sweatpants or like tights on and like the biker shorts with a big t-shirt, my Crocs, a big ass bun, dark circles. I mean, I just
Yeah.
look like a mom who's going through some shit. So when they see me, they're like, "Oh," they don't recognize me.
Yeah, I don't have the energy all the time. That's all it is.
But you
And
do feel
raising
better.
kids is this is
Yeah, you
true.
do. You
If
do
you
feel
look good, you
better.
feel good. 100%. But
Yeah, you
definitely,
definitely
and
do.
that's another thing with content creation, like having to get up, get dressed. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, I would love to record this idea I have. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, just not right now. Like, just
It's not
not
right.
right now.
Maybe later. Thank God for filters.
I know, that's so true. That is so true. I
Well,
need to like no excuses. I need to just throw a filter on and just,
there it is. No
thug it out.
excuses. Write down the ideas. You take one day where you're doing like maybe a whole hour and keep changing your shirt and your hair. There you go.
This is true. This is true. Yes. Wow, you're so fast.
Well, thank you
But
so
yeah.
much. I'm so excited
Yeah,
to hear
thank you
some
as
more.
well.
We will plan, we'll plan in a couple of weeks or a month or so and see where you're at.
Okay, that sounds
Thank
good.
you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. You too.
Bye.